And we will begin the practice today laying down on our backs. If you are playing the music from the link, you can press play now. And then you can just find comfort in Shavasana, just extending the legs out at the corners of the mat, just rolling the shoulders under so the palms are open. Just untucking the head to draw the chin into the chest. And just take a deep breath in. A complete breath out. Just begin to settle in, arriving here in your space. And so we will begin today's practice with some breath work, pranayama. So we'll begin with this box-like breath. We call it Kumbhaka breath. So we'll take an inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold the breath at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath at the bottom for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a deep breath in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 5, 3, 1. Retain the breath for 5, 3. Take an inhale for 5. Retain for 5. And exhale for 5. We'll take one more round of breath for 5 in. Retain at the top for 5. And then exhale for 5. And then relax. Relax the neutral breath. Relax the shoulders. And just take a moment to digest, to observe. Just noting the quality of breath, the quantity of breath. Noting the warmth in the body. And then you can just draw both knees into the chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. You can round up, drawing the third eye towards the knees. And then again, begin to relax the head back. You'll squeeze the knees in close to the chest and then drop the heels towards the buttocks, the base of the spine down towards the floor. You can wiggle a little just side to side. Just a very gentle massage to the lower back, a very minimal movement here. And then you release that left leg. We'll take half happy baby. So right arm to the inside and the right hand to the outside. If this is too much for the hip flexor or the lower back, you can place that left foot on the floor. And then you'll draw that right knee down towards the shoulder. So if you do have that leg extended, you can place that left hand on the hip flexor and flex this left leg, keeping that leg active. And then you'll just begin to release the hand from the foot. Keep the leg as it is, so keep dropping that knee to the outer edge of the floor and release the hand. You can bring both the hand and the arm on the inside. So keep dropping. You should feel this in the thigh, the quadricep, the hip flexor. And then maybe you can squeeze it down a little bit more to feel it in the glute. And then you'll release that foot. Take it out and around. Draw it in towards the chest. Draw it in to squeeze. And then left knee comes in, right ankle on top of left. You can reach in to take the lace of the fingers underneath the leg or on top of the shin. You can keep that right foot flexed and then draw that left knee in, the right leg away. So we are starting to practice on our mat, moving a little bit slower to begin with. We will pick up the pace shortly. So again, I invite you to release the bind of the hands. Keep drawing that left knee in, right knee away. Active left thigh. Good. For one more. And then you'll draw that right knee over top of left. So you cross these legs. You'll reach up either to take the shins, the ankles, or the pinky toe edges of the feet once again. You'll drop the head back, tuck the chin in. Think about drawing this left heel away from glute. And then try to find a little bend in the elbows. Draw your knees a little closer to the chest. Breathe. And you'll slowly release. Good. You take left foot onto the floor. Right foot maybe can hook behind the calf muscle. So I like to put it on the floor first so that I have a better opportunity to hook it behind the calf muscle and then reach those arms up. You'll take left arm over top of right, so we have eagle arms and eagle legs. Draw the knees up and elbows to meet. And then take an inhale, lengthen fingers and feet towards the edges of the mat. Exhale, draw it in and squeeze. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw it in. We'll take 8 more here. Moving with the breath. In. Out. For 4. 3. 2. And then 1. Draw elbows and knees together. Hold. Keep tucking that chin in, lifting the shoulders up off the back of the mat. And then you'll release those arms out to a T. Drop those knees over to the left side. You can take hold of that right knee and gaze over to the right hand. A little spinal twist. And then we'll begin to roll back through center. We'll extend that right leg. Left knee comes in, half happy baby. So arm to the inside, hand to the outside pinky toe edge of the foot. Again, if this is too much for the lower back or the hip, you can take right hand to the hip and bend that knee. And if it's okay, you'll flex the foot, keep that leg active, drawing this left knee down a little closer to the outer edge of the mat. And then you'll think about releasing that hand, but keeping that knee low, that leg wide. You can bring that arm to the inside. Yeah. And then you'll sweep that leg out and around, draw the knee in to the chest, and then squeeze it in. You'll take right knee in and left ankle to the top of that knee. Either lace the fingers underneath that right leg or on top of the shin. So again, rest the head back, drop the shoulders. Draw left knee out and away, right knee in. Keep flexing that left foot. And then again, you'll begin to release the grip that you have with the hands. Keep reaching. Drawing right knee in, left knee away. And then you'll slide that left knee on top of the right. You'll come up to reach either the shins, the ankles, or the pinky toe edges of the feet. See where you can drop the head back down. And then draw those shins in towards you to parallel. So lifting that right heel up away from the buttocks. Maybe you can find a little bend in the elbows. And then you'll release. We'll take eagle legs So you can drop that right foot, you can loop this left leg, left toe around the calf muscle if that's available, and then reach those arms up. You'll take right arm on top of left, loop the hands, eagle arms, and then draw elbows and knees together. Draw the chin in. And then inhale as you lengthen long. Exhale, in. Inhale and exhale. For 8 more here, lengthening long and then squeezing in. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw them up and in, hold. Lift the back of the body up a little higher off the floor. And then release those arms out to a T. Left knee drops over to the right. You can take right hand into that left knee and then gaze over to left hand, twisting. And then you'll draw both knees back through center. You can take hands underneath the thighs, and then you can begin to rock and roll up. So maybe taking a few here to massage the spine, maybe the shoulders. And then we will move into tabletop. So just set the hands up underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, hip width apart. Good. We'll press down through that right hand and we'll begin to drop those hips over to the right side. This left knee can snuggle into the right. Think about lifting the sternum here and drawing that shoulder back and down. So you should feel that through that right glute and also through the right side body. We'll move through center, adjust that knee underneath the hip, come over to the left, right knee scoots in beside the left, press down through the hand, lift the sternum. And then we'll move back through center. And we'll just move side to side, taking one breath at each side, inhaling, chest lift, shoulder back, hip drops. Exhale through center, come over to the other side. On your exhale through center. And then you'll take those knees back out to hip width apart. We'll drop the hips over to the right and then draw the weight forward into the wrists, drawing back towards the heels, over to the right, forward, to the left, and then back. So you can begin to move freely here if you'd like. You can change direction. You can pause where it feels good, where there's that opening. And then we'll come back with the hips over top of the knees, knees underneath. You can tuck the toes and then just press back into the heels. So opening the arcs of the feet. Firm down, find that grip with the fingers, the hands to the floor. You can tilt that chin towards the thumbs, and then you'll just begin to lift the knees from the floor. If this is okay for the tops of the feet, the arcs of the feet, the knees just to hover. From here, you begin to lift the buttocks up a little. Keep the deep bend in the knees, and then extend those hips up towards the sky. You can take that gaze forward back to the thumbs, so we feel this opening, this stretch through the thoracic. And then you'll draw forward into a plank pose. So shoulders will be slightly over top the wrists. If that's too much, you can drop the knees, or you can shift it back a little. Good. We'll again have the knees to hover above the earth here. Good. Draw the hips back over top of the knees, and then slowly switch back to draw that weight into the toe mounds. The knees are lifted, the gaze is forward. Again, we lift the buttocks up a little. Take that gaze back forward, chin to thumbs. Move forward into plank pose. Again, shoulders are over top of the wrists if that's available. It's okay for the shoulders. And then we'll begin to bend the knees, come into a hovering table. Hips to align above the knees. And then we'll move back again, Keep the knees lifted, press into the toe mounts. Gazes forward to between the thumbs. And lift the buttocks, you can keep that gaze forward here. Think about wrapping the triceps back, so creating more space for the neck. Move forward into plank, one more. Hover the knees underneath the hips. The option is always to drop them down. And pressing through those hands, lifting through the back of the heart. Draw back to press into the big toe mounts, knees to hover. And then we'll lift the buttocks up. You can soften the gaze down towards the feet, relax the head, and just move into your first downward facing dog. So if you'd like to extend through the heels, you can, walking that dog out. Take some time to connect to the breath. And then you can pause in downward facing dog. You can settle the heels towards the earth. Keep the buttocks lifted high, a little bend in the knees. Draw the chest close back to the thighs, and then again, wrap the triceps towards the edges of the mat. You'll take that right leg high, inhale, three-legged dog. Lift it up, keep the hips squared. And then on your exhale, you open that hip up. You'll bend the knee up towards the sky, and we'll take 5 circles here. Opening for 3, 2, and 1. Open that hip up, extend that leg long, square the hips, three-legged dog. Exhale, draw that right knee to right elbow, shift it forward, shoulders over top of the wrists, and then plant that foot to the outside edge of the mat. Drop that left knee down. Maybe you can untuck the toe if it's okay for the knee. Settling here in our lizard lunge. So I like to move side to side here, forward and back. You can open up that arc of the foot as you switch side to side. And then you'll begin to center the hands under the shoulders. You'll turn that right toe in, so the pinky toe edge is parallel to the side of the mat. And you will think about pressing that right knee into the right tricep. Good. And then that right tricep out into that right knee. So we're staying really active here with the leg. You can drop that left hip flexor down. You can draw that chest through a little as you keep pushing away and in. So very similar to what we had in that half happy baby. And then you'll begin to draw the left hip back, right hip will follow as we fold over that right leg. Toes can go up towards the sky. You can keep the hands where they are if you need to. You can walk them back, you can use a block. On an inhale, we'll step back into that right foot. Turn that right big toe in and then the heel in. So now that the hips are more squared, that right knee towards the center of the mat. You can lift the chest or the shoulders back. Again, soften into this left hip flexor. Press down through that right big toe. And then you'll draw those hips back once again, folding over this leg. This time the hands to frame the foot. You can take a bend in the elbows. You can use the blocks. And then you'll step into that right foot, bending the knee. You'll walk those hands out to the corner edge of the mat. Good. And you'll continue to walk them around towards the left. So keep that back leg as it is. You can reach out a little longer with this left hand. Squeeze into this left oblique, rib towards the hip, and then open through that right side body. So keep pressing through that right big toe, keeping that knee out. And we'll continue to walk towards the back of the mat, but we'll tuck this left foot. So allow it to come under and off the mat. So it's in line with that left knee, left hand to the back of the mat. Press through that pinky toe edge of the foot, move into our side plank. Keeping that knee dropped, draw the hips forward, engage the glutes, draw that right shoulder back, and then wiggle those fingers. Take another inhale, finding a little more length. And then exhale, sweep this right hand down. We come back to the side of the mat. Walk the hands out in front. Pre-pressing through that right pinky toe edge of the foot. Tuck this left toe under. And then we'll drop the chest down. Keep reaching forward with the fingers. And then just bowing down towards the earth. So you can tense on those fingers if you'd like. A little bit more of an opening for the upper back, the shoulders. Take one more breath here. And then slowly you'll begin to rise up onto the hands. And you'll begin to walk back to the top of the mat, turn this right foot back to center, drop that left hip. Press through the hands, tuck that left toe, and right foot comes back to your plank pose. Draw those shoulders back over top of the wrists. You can bend the knees and then shift back so they're right underneath the hips. Draw back into the tops of the feet, knees to hover, or you can drop, and then shift into downward facing dog. Again, take a moment to settle, just to check in with your alignment. Active legs, spreading the buttocks wide, active glutes. Relax the head, the tongue. And then you'll take that left leg high, inhale, reach to the toes. Three-legged dog, keep the hips squared. On an exhale, you open that hip up. You can bend the knee towards the sky, heel towards the buttocks. And then take circles for 5 with that knee. 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Extend it long, three-legged dog, hips squared. Exhale, draw that left knee to left tricep, and then plant that foot outside edge of the mat. Good. Drop that right knee down, and again, you can just shift side to side. Create a little space to release any tension there. And then you'll center those hands underneath the shoulders. You'll turn left foot in so the pinky toe edge is parallel to the side of the mat. The hand presses down into the inside, and then that left knee presses against the tricep to the knee. So it's very active here as we keep pushing in and pushing away. And dropping that right hip a little bit more, maybe you lift the chest, shoulders draw back. And then you'll slowly begin to draw those hips back towards the back of the mat. You'll fold over this left leg, so toes draw up to the sky. Either keep the hands here, or you can walk them in and find a little bend of the elbow. And then inhale, we'll draw up, step back into that left foot, but bring that toe and heel in. So now your foot is towards the center of the mat. Dropping that hip, draw the shoulders back, lift the chest. And then again, we'll draw those hips towards the back, fold over this long left leg. And then inhale, we'll begin to step back into that left foot. You'll reach those arms out in front and then over to that right side. So you keep walking those hands around to the right and then drop that right rib towards that right hip. So stay where you are. Maybe that hand comes out a little longer. And then you'll continue to walk the hands back. You'll tuck that right foot underneath onto the toe. You'll shift those hands to the back of the mat. So we're at the back of the mat. Press down through that pinky toe edge of the foot. Left hand reaches up. Hips draw forward, glutes engage. Gaze to the fingers, draw the shoulder back. One more breath here. On an exhale, bring that left hand down and around. We'll draw them out towards the side of the mat. We'll reach out onto those hands and then drop the chest down. Keep pressing through that left pinky toe edge of the foot. Right foot is tucked, so we're opening the arc of the foot. And then those shoulders soften down. Maybe you're on the fingertips or the palms of the hands. And then slowly you'll begin to rise up, walk the hands back towards the top of the mat, step into that left foot, plant the palms, lift that right knee, left foot steps back to your plank pose, shift shoulders slightly over top of the wrist, bend those knees and then hips over top of knees, press back into the big toes, and then lift those hips up, downward facing dog. Again, time to settle. We're here for 3, 2, last breath in, complete breath out. You'll take the feet off of the mat, so the big toes to snuggle into the edges of the mat, and walk the hands back towards the feet. Keep walking those hands back so that they're in line with the feet here. Good. If you need to use the blocks, you can use the blocks. If you need to bend the knees, you can bend the knees. We'll begin to fold forward, dropping the crown of the head towards the floor. You can take a bend in the elbows if that's available, and then hook the triceps and the elbows to the calf muscles, the inside lines of the legs. Using that grip to draw you a little bit closer. The knees can be bent, maybe deeply, and then you can play around with extending them. So lifting the buttocks up towards the sky. You can move a little side to side. Keep pressing calf muscles or thighs into the arms. So this will be a common theme for our practice today. Noting where that tricep can come up into the thigh or to meet the calf muscle. Let's drop the buttocks down low. Let's sit on top of those triceps if it's available. Good. Keep pressing through the big toes, keeping them in line with the edges of the mat. And then you'll release those hands, walk it back out, downward facing dog. You'll take that gaze forward, deep bend in the knees, buttocks goes high. On an exhale, step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift for a halfway, lengthen through the spine. Gaze is just down in front. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Gaze up to the palms. Exhale, palms of the hands to heart space. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, lift the heart. Exhale, travel back to plank pose. On an exhale, either lower the knees, the chest and the chin, or come into chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Ardha Mukha, downward facing dog. So again, stepping into that left foot, right leg goes high, inhale. On an exhale, open that hip out, bend the knee, heel to the buttocks, gaze under. Think about dropping this right shoulder now, drawing that left side or left rib towards the thigh. And then you can extend that right leg, three-legged dog, square the hips up. Exhale, right knee to right elbow, hold for 3. If you need to drop this knee, you can. 2. And then 1, step that right foot back out to the edge of the mat. Right palm comes in. So we're back onto the toes here. We press that right knee into right tricep into right knee. Yeah. From here, we'll begin to reach those arms forward. You can be on the fingertips. Again, you can drop that back knee if you need. And then bowing in, dropping the head, tucking the chin in. You'll begin to rise back up, bringing those hands back in, and then walking them out off to the side. So again, reach that left hand out, maybe in line with that left hip. Good, feeling that left rib drop down towards the hip. And then pressing into that right big toe, we shift back into that left foot, back of the mat, Skandasana. Good, again that tricep to press to the inside of that leg. Good. You can palm the floor with the hands. You can move a little side to side here. If the buttocks doesn't come down quite low, maybe you have the elbow on the knee. Keep pushing that left knee away. And then you'll travel back to the top of the mat. Turn that right heel in, frame the foot here, and then take that right foot back to plank pose. Lower through a Vinyasa on your exhale, Chaturanga or Ashtangasana. Inhale, Cobra or Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Downward Facing Dog. Left leg goes high, so weight into that right heel. Open the hip up as you exhale, bend that knee, heel to the buttocks. Good. Now think about dropping that left shoulder. So right ribs draw towards the right thigh. Inhale, extend that leg. Three-legged dog. Exhale, draw knee in towards that left elbow and hold for 3, 2, 1. Step that left foot to the outside of the left hand. Drop that right hip flexor, draw the chest forward. Again, press that left elbow, shoulder, tricep into that left knee. And then that left knee into the arm. You can reach those arms forward again. Drop the knee if you need. You can tuck the chin in towards the chest and breathe. And then slowly you'll begin to walk those hands back through center. You'll walk them out to the right side. Again, right shoulder, right rib draws towards the right hip. And then pressing to that left foot, we begin to transition back of the mat, Skandasana. So again, from here, stay where you are. We have that right arm, right hand beside that right foot. Right elbow, tricep pressing against that right knee. Maybe you lift those left toes. Maybe you're up here with the elbow. That's okay. Good. You can palm the mat with both hands. Lift the chest a little. You can rock forward and back. And then you'll switch back to the top of the mat. Frame the foot. Left foot steps back to your plank pose, and then flow through your vinyasa. You can choose to skip this if you'd like. You can hold in plank, and we will all meet in downward facing dog. Again, you'll bend the knees deeply. Lift the buttocks up towards the sky, gaze between the thumbs. On an exhale, you'll step or jump the feet to the outsides of the hands, top of the mat. Malasana squat. So again, the same theme, back to that happy baby. With both hands down, we press the elbows, triceps into the knees. Good. Just note where the knees come up to the triceps. So maybe we can round through the upper back a little and get them a little higher up onto the triceps. Press through the fingers, spread them wide, and then maybe we just begin to shift forward and back here. So moving through a very non-linear practice today, but we are building up to something like bhakasana, titibasana. So that is to come. Good. From your malasana here, we'll press through the palms of the hands, we'll heel toe the feet in, and then bend those knees deeply. Inhale, reach the hands up, gaze up, palms to meet. Exhale, palms of the hands to heart space. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, step or float back to your plank pose. Flow through your vinyasa. Very nice. We'll meet in downward facing dog for 3 breaths. We'll take that right leg high. Inhale, reach to the toes, three-legged dog. Exhale, draw right knee to right elbow, hold for 3, drop that back knee if you need. 2, 1, step that right foot forward, again right hand to the inside. We're going to move a little bit quicker, reach those hands out, square the hips as you drop that left one down, drop the head, and then from here we'll walk those hands out to the side, and then shift back into Skandasana, left foot to 45 degrees. This time you can bring the hands to heart space, use that elbow tricep to push away, and then drop that left hand down, right hand reaches up, inhale. Good. On an exhale, sweep right hand down. We're turning to the back of the mat. Right hand in line with that left foot. We're up on that right heel. Left hand reaches up. Revolve side angle. We'll take a moment to breathe here. You can press back into that heel, drop the hips. Left hip draws back towards that heel. Open through the fingertips. Gaze up, chin to thumb. Take one more inhale. On an exhale, left hand sweeps around. Come back to the top of the mat. Frame the foot. We're in a high lunge here. Good. You'll reach those hands forward onto the fingertips. Left knee comes to the back of that right Achilles calf muscle. Good. Option to stay here or bring the hands to heart space. Lift the chest, shoulders down the back. Connect with that easeful breath. From here, with the hands on the floor or hands to namaste, left foot comes out off of the mat over to the right. Good. Everyone can bring the hands down and we'll fold over that right leg. Tuck the chin up and in towards the chest. And then on an inhale, lift the chest. Walk those hands back through center, left foot next to the right, and fold. Take an inhale, sweep the hands up, gaze up, palms to meet, exhale, bowing back down. Inhale, lengthen halfway lift. Exhale, plank pose, Vinyasa. Inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Again, we'll stay here in downward dog for 3 breaths. Weight into that right leg, left leg goes high, inhale, 3-legged dog. Good, exhale, draw that left knee to left elbow and pause for 3, 2, 1. Drop that left foot outside of the left hand. Lizard lunge, reach those arms forward. Drop the back knee if you need, tuck the chin and breathe in. On your out breath, bring those hands off to the right side of the mat. Switch back to Skandasana, palms to the heart space. We're at the back of the mat. Very nice, good. Again, you can drop that right hand in line with that right foot. Left hand reaches up, inhale. Open through that left side body, left shoulder. And then sweep that left hand down. Turn that right foot, left hand comes down in line with the right. Right hand sweeps up. Again, press back into that heel, drop the hips. Think about drawing right hip back towards left heel. Chin up towards the thumb. And breathe. One more inhale. Exhale, sweep that right hand around. Switch back to the top of the mat, frame that left foot. Good. And then take that right leg up to the left calf muscle. Bring it in. You can choose to bring the hands, keep the hands on the floor or bring them up towards the heart space. You can lower a little, you can lift the chest, shoulders back, and breathe. And then we will take that right foot off to the left side of the mat. Bring the hands to the floor if you had them in namaste and fold over that left leg. Tuck the chin up in towards the chest. Keep the buttocks lifted high. And on your inhalation, walk those hands back out in front, right foot next to the left, and then fold in on an exhale. Inhale, sweep the hands up, gaze up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lengthen, lift up. Exhale, plank pose, flow through your vinyasa. We will all meet in downward facing dog for 3 deep breaths. So we're adding on a little, reminding yourself that you have permission to come down into child's pose anytime that you need. You can drop that knee, you can pause. Just honoring yourself and meeting yourself wherever you're at in this moment. Take the right leg high, inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Step that foot to the outside of the right hand. Good, reach those arms forward, tuck the chin. Inhale, walk them around to the left side, shifting to Skandasana, back of the mat. Good, palms of the hands to heart space. From here we will turn to the back. Right hand drops, revolve, side angle. Extend through that right heel, lift through that left hand. On an exhale, left hand comes down and around, right hand at Warrior 2. We're at the back of the mat in Warrior 2. Good. Hopefully you're following here. Drop that left hip, align the knee with the ankle, that heel to the arc of the back foot. Reach through the fingers, take the gaze forward. On your inhale, reach that left hand up. Exhale, Warrior 2. Let's lengthen through that left leg, turn the toes in, and we'll turn to the front of the mat, Warrior 2. Soften again, hip towards the floor, knee over top of the ankle, reach through those fingers. Take an inhale, reverse. Exhale, Warrior 2. Drop that right elbow to the knee, right palm of the hand to the floor. If you would like to take a bind here, if it's in your practice, right arm goes underneath, left hand behind the back to take the fingers. Good, you choose. So again, take note of where that elbow, that tricep meets that knee, that calf muscle, the thigh. 3, 2, and 1. If you have the bind, you'll keep the bind. If you don't have the bind, that's okay. You'll roll over onto this left big toe. Good, lifting that heel. So if you have that bind, you can take that, if you have the bind, you can release. You can take that hand to the outside of the right foot. And if you have that left hand without the bind, you'll frame the foot here. Good, so we're going to move into koundinyasana. So adjust so that right thigh can come onto that right shoulder. Here, good. If you would like, you can lift that toe from the floor. Maybe you sweep it around, bend that elbow, and then maybe you come back through your vinyasa. Inhale, lift. Exhale, downward dog. Left leg goes high, inhale. Exhale, knee to left elbow, hold. 2, 1. Left foot to the outside of the left hand. Reach those arms forward, drop the chin, bow in. Walk those hands around to the outside of the mat. Shift to the back of the mat, Skandasana. Again, palms of the hands to heart space. Press the elbow to the knee, opening that hip. Inhale, we'll draw to the back of the mat. Drop that left hand, right hand sweeps up, revolve to side. Extend through that left heel. Reach up through that right hand. Again, sweep that hand down, Warrior 2, rise up. Good. Bend that knee in line with the heel, reach through the fingers, gazes forward. Again, reverse the warrior, right hand reaches, left hand down the back of the leg. And then exhale back to Warrior 2. Extend that right leg long, turn to the front of the mat, left knee bends, Warrior 2. Again, set yourself up Find a long, deep breath in. And a complete breath out. Inhale, flip this left palm, reverse the warrior. Exhale, left hand comes down to the floor, or elbow to knee, or take that bind behind the back with the fingers. Draw that right shoulder back, gaze up, and breathe. Two. Keep pressing that elbow, tricep into the knee, and the knee into the arm. And if you have that bind, you'll keep the bind. We'll all turn over onto that right foot, so if you don't have the bind, bring that hand down. Good. Take this left hand underneath, so release the bind if you have it. Left hand underneath and around to the outside of that left foot. Good. Option to stay here, or maybe you lift. Lifting that left foot, tucking that left knee to the back of the arm, bending elbow, shifting forward. Come back to your plank pose, lower through your vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog. Again, deep bend in the knees, buttocks goes high. Then take that gaze forward between the thumbs. You can either step back to Malasana with the feet to the outsides of the hands, or you can take a few hops here. So the buttocks will come back towards the heels. For 3, 2, and then 1. Everyone with the feet to the outsides of the hands. Malasana here. Okay. Bring the palms of the hands together. Use those elbows to push the knees away. If you can, maybe you turn the big toes in so the outer edges of the feet come more so to parallel. And from here, you'll drop that right hand down to the floor. Left hand reaches up, gaze up. If you'd like, you can take a bind behind the back, loop to take the fingers. 2 and 1. Releasing, left hand reaches back up, bring it back down. Left hand drops down, right hand reaches up, open. Either choose to stay there or take that bind behind the back. And then bring both hands back down. Good, hands to namaste. Press into the hands, lift the buttocks. Good, you can take those feet out a little bit wider off of the mat. And then again, we'll draw those hands back in line with the feet. So again, we're back here. We can wiggle the triceps underneath the back of the thighs, bend those knees. Maybe we take that seat once again here. Either choosing to stay here, or maybe you drop the crown of the head to the floor, lift the buttocks up a little, and then hang out here. If you would like to come into your tripod, please feel free to do so. It's really important to press through the fingers, keep those elbows in. If the head doesn't come to the floor, that's completely okay. We're working on finding length in those legs with a slight bend in the knees. The crown of the head towards the floor. And we all will come back down wherever you're at to meet here. We'll bring both hands forward, both toes in, and then now the knees to both triceps for bhakasana crow pose. So the knees come up high into the triceps, so as if we were coming into that knee to elbow, knee to tricep, press through the palms of the hands, lift high up onto the toes, transition into bhakasana. You can either stay here on the toes, shifting that weight forward, shoulders over top of the wrists, or maybe you lift one foot and then the other, or maybe both. Keep that drishti, that focus out in front. Breathe. And then if you would like, you can move into the tripod from here, if you feel game. Otherwise, continue to play here for a moment. Next 3 breaths. 2 and 1. And drop the feet down. Good, extend those legs. Let's take peace fingers to the toes. Take an inhale, lift the heart, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, fold over the legs, maybe you bend in those elbows. Crown of the head towards the floor. Tuck the chin up in towards the chest. And slightly shift that weight forward into the tops of the feet. Inhale, release as you lift up to a halfway flat back. You'll take left hand over to the outside edge of the right foot. So from here, we lift that top of the foot, then press the toes back down. So squishing the finger, you can keep those knees bent if you need. Right hand will reach up, left knee bends in towards that left armpit, and then gaze up. One more inhalation, find a little more length. And then exhale as you bring that hand down. Bring it to the back of the mat behind you. Maybe you're on the fingertips, maybe you need to bend the knees a little bit more, but use that hand to support you as we lift that right foot from the earth and then come down to sit on the floor. Good, keep hold of that foot, knee can be bent, right hand reaches back behind you, shoulder opens, and then extend through that right heel. So see if you can align it with that left knee. Keep twisting back. And then you'll return through center. You can adjust this left foot out a little. Reach that right hand forward, left hand to the outside. Good. And then we'll lower that heel down to hover, and then back up, down and up. So just this left foot out if you need, so that this right knee can be in line with that left knee. 2 and 1, lift it up. You'll bend that right knee, drop it down. Good. Come back to sit on the tail. Lift the chest, drop the shoulders, and then lift those knees up into the chest. Navasana. Take your variation, your modification. We'll extend those legs long, half boat, and then come back to boat. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Draw it up. Well, cross the feet at the top of the mat. Press into the hands, extend those legs, and unravel here. So put feet to hip width apart. We take that right hand to the outside of the left foot. So demonstrate again on that side. Left toes press down into the floor. Knees can stay bent here. Left arm reaches up. Invite that right knee to come towards that elbow, tricep. And then find a little more length as you breathe into those fingers. And then as you exhale, left hand will come down again. You can bring the fingertips down towards the floor, bend the knees as much as you need. Just use that left hand to support you. Scoot that left leg forward. Good. From here, left hand reaches around. Lift the sternum, draw that left shoulder back, and twist back. Return through center. Left hand releases, right hand releases. Adjust this foot as you need so we can keep the knees in line with one another. You'll drop that left heel to hover and then lift it back up. Heel down to hover and then back up. 3, 2, 1, lift it up and then drop both soles of the feet to the floor. We'll come back to our boat pose. Lengthen through the spine, knees up into the chest, reach through the fingers, lift the heels, And we'll take 4 in and outs, lengthen to half boat, come back to boat. 3, 2, and 1. Come up. Let's cross both of the legs, sit tall. You'll take right foot on top for our double pigeon. If this is too much, feel free to take that right foot out in front. Or if the knee is up high, that's completely normal. If we're new to the practice or have limited flexibility with the hips, you can maybe use a block to press down or to lower that knee. If it's up here, that's okay. If you're rounding through the back of the body, just shift it forward. Okay. So we're taking that double pigeon. Can lengthen through the spine. Just press through the fingertips. If it's available for you to move forward, you can, walking the hands out in front. And you'll either stay here, or if you would like a challenge in your practice, you can bring that leg, lift the body up, can bring that leg in by taking it to the inside of the left elbow and then sitting into this pigeon here. You can rock side to side. And again, I'm going to offer you options to move forward within this. So you can take the hand to the outside of the right foot, remembering this may not be for you, and that's okay. Right hand underneath the calf muscle. So as we did with the koundinyasana before, hook that thigh to the tricep, place that right hand down on the floor, I'll face you. Good. And then maybe you release that left hand, press it down beside the hip, left foot comes up onto that right leg. Lift the buttocks. Maybe you bend the elbows and extend the legs out to the side. You'll return through center and then come down. Taking your time through each side. We will move, if you're in that double pigeon, we'll come back up and we'll move to the other side. So we drop that left ankle on top of the right. Align that heel underneath the knee, or again, you can bring it out in front. Can find length through the spine, drop the shoulders. And if you're ready to move forward, you can by bringing those hands forward, relaxing the jaw, softening the elbows, and coming back into the breath. If you would like to stay there, please do. Or if you'd like to move forward, we'll take that left arc of the foot into the right elbow and rock side to side. And again, you can take right hand to the outside, so 8 angle pose. Take that left shoulder under, tricep underneath that left thigh, and then you can press through that hand. Right hand beside the right hip. Maybe you loop that right foot on top, lift, bend the elbows and shift that weight forward. Gaze over to the right. Very nice. Inhale. I can see a couple of you doing that. Good. And then come back down when you're ready. And we all will meet back in that double pigeon. You can rise up. You can unlace the legs, bring them out in front, hip width apart, parallel, fingers point towards the buttocks. Lift the hips up for a reverse table. Squeeze the glutes together, gaze to those knees, and then roll those shoulders out. Maybe take that gaze back. And then slowly you'll roll back onto the buttocks, down onto the elbows, and onto the back. You can use the next couple of minutes to explore in your practice, to come back to any of the variations we took before. Maybe you want to practice koundinyasana, have a little bit more time, or that 8 angle pose, or maybe it's tripod from crow pose. If you're not trying any of those, feel free to come into Astavakrasana, another gentle opening of the hips. You don't have to bring the heels too close towards the base of the spine, but just bring both of the hands to the hip flexors. Just drawing the chin into the chest, and we'll come back to that box breath, that Kumbhaka Pranayama. So take an inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain the breath at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 5. Hold for 5. Breathe out for 5. Retain for 5. Inhale for 5. Hold for 5. Exhale completely for 5. And relax. So again, if you're still playing here, I invite you to come down into Shavasana, to settle, to relax, to extend the legs, to completely let go of any thoughts. Otherwise, just wiggling the fingers, the toes, reaching the arms up overhead, lengthening long. You can draw the knees into the chest, give yourself a big squeeze. And you can rock and roll over to the right side. You can rise up to find comfort in the seat. You can bring the palms of the hands to the center of the heart. Being guided by that space today. Thanking each and every one of you for joining, for showing up, for breathing, for moving in a non-linear way. Namaste.